How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, January 28th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to walk you through the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Wednesday, January 27th, and I'm going to preview all the matchups today as we walk through the world of sports one day at a time. Starting in the NBA with the games that were on primetime last night that were on ESPN. First going to Philadelphia. The Philadelphia 76ers host the defending 2020 NBA champions Los Angeles Lakers. And in this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers were able to beat the Los Angeles Lakers 107-106 after outscoring them in the first quarter by 10, keeping that lead and holding off the Lakers' comeback at the very end. For the Los Angeles Lakers in this matchup, their elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, would finish with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists, as well as 2 blocks in 35 minutes, as he shot 9 for 18 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and he also went on to shoot 5 for 10 from the free throw line. And then for the Los Angeles Lakers, the goated small forward, LeBron James, would lead both teams in scoring as he finished with 34 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in 39 minutes as he shot 12 for 22 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 8 for 11 from the free throw line. For the Philadelphia 76ers in this matchup, their starting small forward, Tobias Harris, would finish with 24 points and 7 rebounds in 37 minutes as he shot 10 for 16 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3. Their starting point guard, Ben Simmons, would finish with 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in 39 minutes as he shot 8 for 15 from the field and 1 for 2 from the line. And the Philadelphia 76ers leading scorer would be their elite center, Joel Embiid, who finished with 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, as well as a couple of blocks in 38 minutes as he shot 8 for 18 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and 11 for 13 from the free throw line. With his win, the Philadelphia 76ers are 13-6, which is the best record in the East. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Lakers are 14-5, which is the second best record in the West to the Utah Jazz. Jumping out to Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets went on to host the Indiana Pacers, and in this matchup, the Indiana Pacers would beat the Charlotte Hornets 116-106 after outscoring the Hornets by 6 in the fourth quarter and after jumping out to a 17-point lead after the first quarter. For the Charlotte Hornets in this matchup, off the bench, their elite point guard LaMelo Ball would finish with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 22 minutes as he shot 2 for 4 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Their leading scorer was their shooting guard Terry Rozier, who finished with 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 33 minutes as he shot 8 for 18 from the field. For the Indiana Pacers, off the bench, their leading scorer was their forward out of Creighton, Doug McDermott, who finished with 28 points and 5 rebounds in 28 minutes. He shot 12 for 22 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Also out of their starters, their starting power forward, Domantas Sabonis, would finish with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists as he shot 9 for 10 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the free throw line. And then their starting point guard, Malcolm Brogdon, would finish with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 37 minutes as he shot 9 for 7 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. With this win, the Indiana Pacers are comfortably sitting at 11-7, which is the third best record in the East as it currently stands, just by win percentage. And with this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are 7-11, which ties them with the Toronto Raptors for the 11th best and also the 4th worst record in the Eastern Conference. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers hosted the Detroit Pistons, and in this matchup, the Cavaliers were able to beat the Pistons 122-107 after outscoring the Pistons by 17 in the second half. For the Detroit Pistons, their leading scorer was their starting small forward, Jeremy Grant, who finished with 26 points in 33 minutes, shooting 7 for 13 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, their starting center, Andre Drummond, would finish with 23 points and 16 rebounds as he shot 9 for 24 from the field in 28 minutes. He also shot 5 for 8 from the free throw line. The Cavaliers' leading scorer would be their starting point guard out of Alabama, Colin Sexton, who finished with 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, as well as a couple of steals in 35 minutes as he shot 10 for 14 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and 8 for 10 from the free throw line. With this win, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 9-9, which ties them with the Atlanta Hawks for the 6th best record in the conference. With this loss, the Detroit Pistons are 4-14, which is the second worst record in the Eastern Conference as it stands. Jumping to Orlando, the Orlando Magic hosted the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings were able to beat the Magic 121-107 after dominating through the first 3 quarters and letting the Magic come back a little bit in extra time, or in garbage time, but at that point it was too late. For the Orlando Magic, their starting guard, Evan Fournier, would finish with 25 points in 30 minutes as he shot 7 for 15 from the field and a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Their leading scorer was their center, Nikola Vucevic, who finished with 26 points, 9 rebounds in 33 minutes as he shot 11 for 18 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, and he made both of his free throw attempts on the night. For the Sacramento Kings, their starting forward, Richaun Holmes, would finish with 20 points and 12 rebounds in 32 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field. Their starting forward, Harrison Barnes, would finish with 21 points and 5 rebounds in 38 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And the Sacramento Kings leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard out of Oklahoma, Buddy Hield, who finished with 29 points and 5 rebounds, as well as 3 steals in 38 minutes as he shot 10 for 17 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. With this win, the Sacramento Kings are sitting at 7-10, which is the third worst record in the Western Conference. And with this loss, the Orlando Magic are 8-11, which ties them with the New York Knicks for the 8th best record in the East as it stands. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks hosted the Brooklyn Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets were able to overcome the Hawks 132-128 in overtime in a game that went down to the wire. For the Atlanta Hawks, off the bench, their shooting guard Cam Reddish out of Duke, go Duke. He would finish with 24 points and 6 rebounds, as well as a couple of steals in 35 minutes as he shot 9 for 17 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting power forward, John Collins, would finish with 21 points and 8 rebounds in 39 minutes as he shot 9 for 14 from the field, 2 for 3 from the three-point line, and he made his only free throw attempt of the night. Their starting small forward, DeAndre Hunter out of UVA, would finish with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in 45 minutes as he shot 7 for 12 from the field and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. And the Hawks' leading scorer would be their elite point guard, Trae Young, who finished with 28 points and 14 assists in 44 minutes as he shot 7 for 22 from the field and 11 for 12 from the free throw line. For the Brooklyn Nets, their elite starting shooting guard, James Harden, would finish with 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 15 assists in 46 minutes as he shot 9 for 20 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3, and a perfect 8 for 8 from the line. Their starting point guard, Kyrie Irving, would finish with 26 points and 7 assists in 42 minutes as he shot 11 for 17 from the field, and 1 for 3 from 3 and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And their leading scorer was their goated small forward, Kevin Durant, who finished with 32 points and 5 rebounds and 2 assists, as well as a couple of blocks in 42 minutes. He shot 13 for 26 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the Brooklyn Nets are 12-8, which is the 4th best record in the East win percentage-wise. And with this loss, the Atlanta Hawks are tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers at 9-9 for the 6th best record in the East. Jumping out to Miami in that same division, the Miami Heat hosted the Denver Nuggets, and in this matchup, the Nuggets would blow this lead wide open, beating Miami 109-82 after outscoring them by 14 in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter, making it 25 in the first half. And then just after Miami had a big third quarter, Denver just made it, just blew the lead wide back open and won it by a very wide margin. For the Miami Heat in this matchup, their leading scorer was Kendrick Nunn, their guard out of Oakland, who finished with 17 points in 39 minutes. And their elite center, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 6 for 13 from the field and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. For the Denver Nuggets in this matchup, their leading scorer would be their elite center, Nikola Jokic, who finished with 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 9 for 14 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the line. And also their elite point guard, Jamal Murray, would finish with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 36 minutes as he shot 4 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. With this win, the Denver Nuggets are sitting at 11-7, which, looking in the West, is the 4th best record win percentage-wise, 2 games behind the Los Angeles Clippers. And with this loss, the Miami Heat are sitting at 6-11, which is the 3rd worst record in the East. Mind you, remember that the Miami Heat won the Eastern Conference Finals this past year. Jumping out to Toronto, jumping out to Tampa Bay, the Toronto Raptors hosted the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks were able to beat the Raptors 115-108 after outscoring the Raptors by 6 in the fourth quarter and going in up by 1. In this loss for the Toronto Raptors, their starting shooting guard Norman Powell will lead the team in scoring as he finished with 26 points and 5 rebounds in 41 minutes, shooting 8 for 13 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Their elite power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 5 for 12 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3 as well. Their elite starting point guard Kyle Lowry would finish with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 37 minutes as he shot 7 for 12 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3, and 1 for 1 from the free throw line. For the Milwaukee Bucks in this outing, their starting center Brook Lopez would finish with 20 points and 7 rebounds in 32 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Their starting forward, Chris Middleton, will finish with 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 8 for 17 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And their elite starting forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning back-to-back NBA MVP, would finish with 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists in 38 minutes, shooting 8 for 14 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and he shot 8 for 14 from the free throw line. With this win, the Milwaukee Bucks are sitting at 11-6, which is the second best record in the East currently, win percentage wise, because we are early in the season. And with this loss, the Toronto and temporarily Tampa Bay Raptors are sitting with the 11th best and the 4th worst record in the East, as they are tied with the Charlotte Hornets with this record. Jumping out to San Antonio, the San Antonio Spurs hosted the Boston Celtics, and in this matchup, they were able to beat Boston 110-106 after outscoring Boston by 6 in the fourth quarter to come back and win this game. For the Boston Celtics, their starting shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, would finish with 24 points and 5 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 8 for 19 from the field, 3 for 6 from the three-point line, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Their elite starting point guard, Kemba Walker, would finish with 14 points in 27 minutes, shooting 6 for 15 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3 as well. And then the Celtics' leading scorer would be their elite small forward, Jason Tatum from Duke, go Duke, who finished with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists, as well as 4 steals on the night in 34 minutes. He shot 11 for 25 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. For the San Antonio Spurs, their starting power forward, LaMarcus Aldridge, would finish with 20 points in 28 minutes, shooting 8 for 14 from the field and 3 for 6 from 3. And their starting shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan, would finish with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 7 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. With this win, the San Antonio Spurs are sitting at 10-8, which is tied with the Golden State Warriors for the 6th best record in the West. And with this loss, the Boston Celtics are sitting at 10-7, which is currently the 5th best record in the East. Continuing on, jumping out to New Orleans, the New Orleans Pelicans hosted the Washington Wizards, and in this matchup, the Pelicans were able to beat the Wizards 124-106, winning by 18, after outscoring the Washington Wizards by 17 in the first quarter. For the Washington Wizards, their leading scorer would be their elite shooting guard, Bradley Beal, who finished with 47 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals in 40 minutes. Yes, you heard that correctly. He finished with 47 points in an 18-point loss. He shot 7 for 37 from the field, 6 for 14 from 3, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. And for the New Orleans Pelicans, their 2 leading scorers, where there are 2 forwards out of Duke, their elite second-year power forward, Zion Williamson, would finish with 32 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in 33 minutes, shooting 12 for 16 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 8 for 11 from the free throw line. And tied with him for the lead in scoring was the elite small forward, Brandon Ingram, who finished with 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 12 for 19 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, and 1 for 1 from the free throw line. With this win, the New Orleans Pelicans are sitting at 6-10, which, looking at West, gives them the second worst record or the 14th best, depending on how you look at it. And with this loss in the East, the Wizards are 3-11, which is the worst record in the East. So, of course, this was not the Super Bowl, but rather the toilet bowl of basketball games. But continuing on. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder, and in this matchup, the Thunder were able to beat the Suns 102-97 after outscoring them in a very close fourth quarter. And for the Phoenix Suns, their leading scorer was their elite point guard, Chris Paul, who finished with 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 12 for 21 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, their starting point guard, Al Horford, would finish with 21 points and 11 rebounds, as well as 3 steals and 30 minutes as he shot 8 for 12 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from three-point line to tie for the team co-lead in points. He tied with their starting shooting guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists, as well as a couple of steals and a couple of blocks in 31 minutes as he shot 6 for 18 from the field and 7 for 9 from the free throw line. With this win, the Oklahoma City Thunder are sitting at 8-9, which is the 10th best record or the 6th worst record in the West, depending on how you look at it. And with this loss, the Phoenix Suns are sitting with a 9th best record in the West at 8-8, sitting at 500 with that. Jumping out to Salt Lake City, the Utah Jazz hosted the Dallas Mavericks and were able to beat the Mavericks 116-104 after outscoring the Dallas Mavericks by a combined 21 points in the first half. And with this, they were able to overtake the Los Angeles Lakers for the best record in the West. For the Dallas Mavericks, their leading scorer was their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic, who finished with 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 13 for 24 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the three-point line. For the Utah Jazz, off the bench, their leading scorer would be the leading scorer in the game, Jordan Clarkson, who finished with 31 points and 7 rebounds in 33 minutes, shooting 11 for 21 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Their starting small forward, Joe Ingles, would finish with 21 points and 8 assists in 30 minutes as he shot 7 for 13 from the field and 7 for 11 from the three-point line. Their elite starting center, Rudy Gobert, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 29 points and 20 rebounds, as well as 3 steals and 3 blocks in 37 minutes as he shot 11 for 20 from the field and 7 for 11 from the free throw line. With this win, the Utah Jazz are 14-4, like I just said, half a game above the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. And with this loss, the Dallas Mavericks are 8-10, which is the 5th worst record in the West, or the 11th best, depending on how you look at it. I'm going to give the best and the worst because, I just kind of like doing the math. Jumping out to Oakland, the Golden State Warriors hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves, and in this matchup, the Golden State Warriors were able to beat the Timberwolves 123-111 after outscoring Minnesota just through the first 3 quarters, just laying it on, outscoring them by 7 at the half, and then outscoring them by 13 in the third quarter alone. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, their starting shooting guard, Malik Beasley, would finish with 25 points and 5 rebounds in 30 minutes, shooting 7 for 18 from the field and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. And for the Golden State Warriors, their starting center, the number 2, or their center off the bench, the number 2 overall pick from the 2020 NBA draft, James Wiseman, would finish with 25 points and 6 rebounds in 24 minutes, shooting 9 for 14 from the field, a perfect 3 for 3 from the three-point line, and 4 for 6 from the free throw line. He led the team in scoring, and additionally, their starting small forward, Kelly Oubre Jr., would finish with 20 points and 9 rebounds in 24 minutes, shooting 7 for 9 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Additionally, their goated point guard Steph Curry would finish with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists in 33 minutes, shooting 6 for 17 from the field and 4 for 11 from 3. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are 10-8, which is the 6th best record in the West, tied with the San Antonio Spurs. With this loss, the Timberwolves are 4-13, the worst record in the West currently. And with that said, that's what the NBA is looking like because the Chicago Bulls-Memphis Grizzlies game did get postponed. But of course, looking out to tonight's matchup, starting with the prime time at 7:30, the Rockets are going to host the Trailblazers. at 7:30. And then at 10 o'clock following that, the Suns are going to host the Warriors. In between, at 8 o'clock, the Detroit Pistons are going to host the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. And speaking of Los Angeles, the Clippers are going to go to Miami, face off against the Heat in American Airlines Arena at 8 o'clock. Looking at the college basketball, starting with last night, second-ranked Baylor was able to host unranked Kansas, and they were able to beat them 107-59 after outscoring them by 28 in the first half, 20 in the second. Davion Mitchell will lead the way for Baylor as he scored 31 points. With his win, Baylor is still undefeated. They are 15-0. They are 8-0 in the Big 12. With his loss, Kansas State is still unranked, 5-12, 1-8 in the Big 12. 13th ranked Ohio State was able to host Penn State and beat them at home as well, 83-79 after outscoring them by four in the first half. E.J. Liddell will lead the way for Ohio State as he finished with 22 points and 7 rebounds. So with this win, Ohio State is now 13-4. They are 7-4 in the Big Ten. With this loss, Penn State is 5-7. They are 2-6 in the Big Ten. Moving on, 14th ranked Wisconsin was able to go to Maryland to face off against the Terrapins. They were able to pull off the win on the road after outscoring Maryland by 18 in the first half and being able to hold off the Maryland comeback. Micah Potter would lead Wisconsin in scoring. He had 23 points and 12 rebounds. With this win, Wisconsin is now 13-4. They are now 7-3 in the Big Ten. With this loss, Maryland is 9-8 and they are 3-7 in the Big Ten. 16th ranked Florida State hosted their in-state rivals, the University of Miami, and they were able to beat Miami 81-59, outscoring them by 12 in the first half and 10 in the second, behind Malik Osborne's 11 points and 10 rebounds. With this win, Florida State is 10-2 as they are now 6-1 in the ACC. With this loss, Miami is 6-9 as they are 2-8 in the ACC. 17th ranked Creighton went to Seton Hall, and they were able to win 85-81 after outscoring Seton Hall by 14 points to come back and win this game. Micah Ballack would lead the way for Creighton, finishing with 29 points. With this win, Creighton is now 12-4. They are 8-3 in the Big East. With this loss, Seton Hall is 9-7 as they are 6-4 in the Big East. 20th ranked Virginia Tech went to Notre Dame, and they were able to beat the Fighting Irish 62-51. After outscoring them by 9 at halftime and just riding that momentum to the end of the game behind Justin Mutt's 14 points and 11 rebounds. With this win, Virginia Tech is 12-3 and they are now 6-2 in the ACC. With this loss, Notre Dame is 5-9. They are now 2-6 in the ACC. And last but not least, 25th ranked Louisville went to Clemson, and Clemson was able to beat Louisville 54-50 after outscoring Louisville by 5 in the second half to overcome their 1-point halftime deficit and win their 10th game of the season behind Amir Sims' 16 points and 9 rebounds. With this win, Clemson is 10-4. They are 4-4 in the ACC, and with this loss, 25th ranked Louisville is now 10-4, and they are 5-3 in the ACC. Looking out to hockey, just going through the big matchups just to look through from yesterday. There were only 2 matchups that were played. The Nashville Predators were able to get their 4th win of the season, beating the Blackhawks in the shootout. And the Vancouver Canucks were able to beat the Ottawa Senators 5-1 after scoring 3 goals in the second half. JT Miller for Vancouver will finish with 2 goals and an assist, and he will help out in a big way. And then last but not least, looking out to what's going on in the international world of soccer, starting with the Premier League because a good amount went down in the Premier League. I think that is worth going over. Starting with Chelsea. Chelsea tied Wolverhampton in Thomas Tuchel's first season in his first match as the coach. Looking in the Premier League, Chelsea sitting 8th as they sit with 30 points. They are 11 points behind first place Manchester City and Manchester United, and a chance to overtake Manchester City, at least for the time being. They lost to Sheffield United, who at the moment is still, even with this win, the worst team in the Premier League. They're sitting at the bottom of the table by 3 points. But with this win, this win would be a big win for them. And moving forward, Manchester United, with 1 game more than Manchester City, they have 1 less point than them. Manchester United is still very well in play to overtake them for the Premier League title, but their chance at that is slipping away as Manchester City is getting stronger and stronger by the game. In the Italian Coppa Italia, Juventus was able to beat SPAL 4-0, very handily to move on to the next round. And in the Spanish Copa del Rey, Barcelona was able to be Rayo Vallecano, as their first goal will come in the 69th minute from their goated forward Lionel Messi, and then their 80th minute goal will come from their elite Dutch midfielder Frankie de Jong. So of course they will move on to the next round of the tournament as well. And looking forward to what's going on today in the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur is going to host Liverpool at 3 o'clock. Looking at where they sit, Liverpool is sitting 5th in the table because they were sitting at the top for a bit and they dropped, just like Manchester City kind of is doing now. And they are currently sitting right above Tottenham Hotspur. They have played one more game than Tottenham, but they have one more point in the table. So just in another game, if Tottenham just wins that game, they can overtake Liverpool in the table. But just facing them head on, a win from Tottenham could be very big for them, and a win for Liverpool could be a very big shock to Tottenham and give Liverpool the shock they need to jump back up and compete with Manchester City and Manchester United. And then those are the matchups just to look forward to today. Not much going on today, but today is Thursday, January 28th, 2021 out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 26 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well. I will follow this up with an elite profile on Imani Bates, one of the best young basketball players in the game today. I hope all is well, and I will catch you with a piece after this. Peace out, and I'll catch you tomorrow.